What's up, everybody? We're back with another video. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for coming back to Cooking with Whiskey. Today we're going to do pulled pork tacos. Yeah. You know, they always say on YouTube, everybody's got to be super excited. I'm kind of an optimist. I'm kind of always pretty happy, so I ain't pretending. I ain't joking. So today I got a 7.5 pound bone-in pork butt. Gonna throw it on the smoker. We're gonna get it all seasoned up, and it's gonna be awesome. Stick around. So now we gotta get this seasoned up and get it prepared to go on the smoker. Let me bring you on down here, show you what we're gonna do next. So like I said, it's about 7.5 pounds, bone in, pork butt, pork shoulder, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna get this out of the wrapper here, see if we got to do any kind of trimming. I usually don't have to do too much on these because a lot of the fat is gonna render down. I got a little tinfoil down here on the cutting board just to make the cleanup a little bit easier. Paper towel is handy. And yeah, see, something like loose like this, that can go away. For the most part there. That fat cap looks a little more than I need. Like I said, a lot of this cooks off. I'm going to be doing this hot and fast. So sometimes when you do the hot and fast method, the fat doesn't render off quite as well as it would when you do low and slow. But you don't want to do it kind of just like you would a brisket. You want about a 1/4 inch of fat. And I think that's about what this looks like. It ain't super bad. As you can see there, it's roughly about a 1/4 inch. So I think she's good. Don't need any of this stuff. Get out of my life. So now we're just gonna make kind of a simple rub. And it's going to be something I use a lot. SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. I just reuse these containers. Well, this one says garlic butter, which I still have a ton of this stuff. So I'm going to go in with a lot of this. It's a big piece of meat, so it can take a lot of seasoning. So got that in there. And something else I use a lot on this channel, ancho chili powder. That's going to give it kind of that Mexicana flavor, and lots of nice red color. It's going to get deep and rich red. It's going to look super cool, and it's going to taste super awesome too. Let's get this mixed up. Just start going down on it. Just want to get pretty liberal coating on it. You want to make sure you get on all the sides too, not just top and bottom. You want to get all the sides. So anything that comes back on the cutting board, like it is right there, it's a good time to kind of go in and get those sides too. Now I'm just going to kind of do the top and the sides for now. So I'm going to let this sit here on the cutting board and let this, what they call, let it sweat in. And that's what that is. This is when the rub really starts incorporating with the meat. Like it won't shake off, like it's stuck. So I'm gonna go around on the parts I can get without flipping it over, so we can let this kind of sweat, like I said, about 15 minutes. We'll flip it over and do the other side. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get the grill preheated up, and I will see you back then. All right, folks, we are back. Like I said, we got this rub on, and we are going to see how, or I'm going to show you of how well the rub is incorporated on this. They call it the sweating in. And let me just show you instead of me talking. You don't want to look at me anyways, right? So it starts to turn this, you know, the red color from the ancho chili, but the rub starts sticking in. You see what I mean? It's not like you can't flake it off anymore. And that's kind of what you want. So it's important to let it sit there for 15-20 minutes, and you can sit right on your cutting board. You know, it's not, calm down, people, all right? It's not like going bad on you. So we got it to this point. I got the grill heated up. I'm gonna start off pretty hot. I'm gonna do 300. I might drop it down to 275 later. I don't know. All depends. All depends. Barbecue's about when it's done. It's not so much about a time, you know what I mean? So 300 degrees, then I'll plop it on in there. I got a foil pan underneath it, underneath the grill to catch some of the grease. I'm cooking on a Weber smoke fire pellet grill, and one of the flaws of this cooker is the grease management system is pretty shitty. So using a grease pan underneath it, it's pretty important. But the one unique thing about the Weber smoke fire is it's probably the only, I think it is the only pellet smoker that doesn't have an actual grease pan. So it's getting more direct smoke. It's being kissed by smoke a lot more than the other ones, which gives it, in my opinion, a more unique flavor, more closer to an actual barbecue. So I don't know. Say what you will about the smoker, the Weber smoke fire. It makes great food. So, all right, folks, we're back. So, like I said earlier, when we reached that stall point, what I said earlier was like 160 degrees. It's kind of just a reference point. You'll notice when it hits a temperature and it just stops. Like right now, I've been at like 155 degrees for 10-15 minutes, so I'm at the stall point. And now I'm going to show you what to do from here. So we move this over here. Going to pull it off. Like I said earlier, I started with the fat cap down, and I ended up switching up about halfway through, about maybe a couple hours in, to the fat cap up. Because my cooker seems like more the heat's coming from the top, and I have that grease pan underneath like I showed you earlier. But here's where we're at this point. Get a nice bark on it. And that's going to get a lot darker too once we wrap. I have two layers of heavy duty tinfoil, and we're going to get it wrapped up, put it back on. Going to hit it a little bit more of this spritz. Get it on the foil, get it on the meat, and we're going to wrap it up. Now based on size of this tinfoil that I already cut up, yeah, it'll be fine. This way. Okay, we're ready to go. So I'm gonna put this back on the pit. So like I said, it's gonna be about 205 degrees. It's not so much about the temperature, it's more about, I'll get my temperature probe and start poking the meat at about 200 degrees. And you want to stick it in until it goes in and out with no resistance, like sticking it into warm butter. So that could be at 200 degrees, it could be at 202, might be 205, it could be 210. But that's when you pull it. When it comes to that zero resistance, when you do the poke test. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could use a fork, you could use a toothpick. You just want that. It's got to go in like warm butter. So now it goes back on. Temperature probe goes back in. You want to make sure that your probe is not touching the bone, because that'll give you really inaccurate readings. So we're gonna let this roll till she's ready, and then I will see you then. Welcome back, folks. Got the pork off, got it shredded. I let it cool for a while, about an hour. And I know when I said earlier, it's probably gonna be shooting for that 205. I actually checked this at 198, 199, it was perfect. So just heads up, when you guys do pulled pork or even brisket, start checking around that 199, 200 degree time, because you never know, they all cook different. I put the temperature probe in this one and it was just going in like butter. I'm like, dude, this is ready to come off. So let it cool. I shredded, the bone came right out. Show you guys a little bit what we got going on here. Now, it's still kind of warm. Oh yeah. So after I got it shredded, there's a reason why I call these Catalina style pulled pork tacos. Use about a cup and a half of Catalina dressing. Then I add about a whole 8-ounce can of pureed chipotle in the adobo sauce. Which I like using that because then you don't got to worry about the seeds and any of that stuff. It's just straight goodness, right? So I mix those two together, mix it all up in here, and it gives us this really sweet, kind of tangy, smoky flavor. Yeah. Let's make a taco. So we got these tacos all made. Bring it on down here and I'm check it out. The usual suspects. Some finely diced onion, some cilantro, some Valentina hot, and a couple lime wedges. Added a little Monterey Jack cheese too. I know that's probably not traditional, but I have plenty of other videos that I do things pretty dang professional, pretty the way they're supposed to be done, you know what I mean? This is just kind of my spin on my Catalina pulled pork tacos. Let's give it a shot. First you gotta get a little bit of this lime on here. Cheers. Whenever I make these, it's a huge hit around here. And I'm telling you, you got to try that that mixture, Catalina dressing and chipotle. Pork is super tender. I mean, it was just like, I mean, I barely had to even like shred it, you know? It was just like my hands, and came right apart. It was perfectly cooked, super moist still. That sauce though, Catalina sauce, it gives it that sweetness. It almost reminds me of like a barbecue sauce. This is almost like a, you know, my version of like a Catalina barbecue sauce. It's sweet, tangy. You get some heat, the smoky from that chipotle. Then you get the sweet and the heat from the rub and the smoke from the grill. Man. Mm-hmm. I got nothing left to say. But this is great. I hope you guys try it at home. Be sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Later.